economic policies happen in 6 months. There is no, it doesn't happen anywhere in the world. At best, within 6 months to 2 years. Because usually these are projections. You understand that there is no economics in the world that will tell you within 3 months, 6 months, a policy will work. Mr. President inherited a dilapidated economy. A country that was already going into extinction.
Okay.
And Mr. President is trying to revive a country, not for the meantime, but a country for the future of Nigeria.
Okay.
And the future generations to come.
Okay. Well, the country for the future of Nigeria and for the future to come. I've heard it more than 1,000 for the better future for Nigeria. So, Mr. Tony, can you hear me, Mr. Tony? Yes. So, what is your view about this? Are these what, or the tunnel is still a very long one that leads to there's an unending darkness? I would like to hear your point of view on that.
Okay, I would like to start from where, my brother started with by saying that the protest is being funded by Nigerians that are abroad and that is politically motivated. And I think this is what we've been hearing from governments, people in governments and their supporters as well. And it's quite how do I put it now? It's quite painful in the sense that, and sad, in the sense that I think that they seem to be living in self-denial. And I will explain why. You don't create a problem and point hands at people who probably want to feed on that problem or who are genuinely against the problem you've created. Now, I've also heard that the current government inherited a country going into extinction. All these are distractions and us not willing to face the truth. Because for me, my fear is not even about, or my sadness is not about what they are saying, is that the problem they are creating will consume all Nigerians, including those against the government and those for the government. Because when there is hunger, none of us will have a place to hide. And that's why I'm saying that's what we are saying in the North today. There were people that supported these protests and were consumed in the North by the same violence that the protests created. There were people that were against the protest, that the violence that was created by this protest also consumed their businesses and their livelihood. So the earlier better we face the facts. Government officials will travel on our roads, they will be killed, they will be murdered. People against the government will travel on these same roads, they will be killed, they will be murdered. Since kidnapping has started, it's not only anti-government forces that have been kidnapped, pro-government forces have also been kidnapped. So it's better we just lay the facts on the table and start looking at how we start addressing the problems we have in Nigeria today. It is not true that the government inherited a country that's gone into extinction. It's not true. This government came into power. Yes, we agree that oil was being subsidized. But it was this government that decided to remove the subsidy even before entering Aso Rock. Yes, I've heard that, yes, a budget was passed without subsidy. But this government came into power with several policies that were reversed. So they could as well as gone back to the National Assembly to introduce those same subsidy. They floated Naira. Is there any country in the world that has floated its currency against the dollar? Is there any? Give us one example. Currencies are being managed against dollar, and that's why you have the BRICS coming up today trying to counter the dollar. Was it not the same government that also increased electricity tariff? all these policies that were being enacted, I just add that. Oh God.
Okay, continue. We can hear you. Although the video is not here.
It's off. Okay. So I just also add up saying that there's no policy there's nowhere in the world where policies take effect in 6 months. Subsidy was removed. It took effect immediately. Naira was floated. It took effect immediately. Electricity tariff was increased. It took effect immediately. Look at the banks today. The quality of loans in the banks today is as good as zero. Because the banks are no longer lending to SMEs. SMEs are not even in existence any longer. Because why? It makes more sense for you to invest in treasury bills, in fixed deposit, than giving money to SMEs with a credit rating of high risk. So at the end of the day, what are we really talking about? What we are saying here is that the protests, the violence that we've seen in the north and in the south today is not a question of whether it's being politically motivated or whether it's being sponsored by outsiders. Is that Nigerians are hungry and they are angry. And the question is, for how long? And I would like my friend over there to answer this question. For how long should Nigerians wait? Now, my last comment will be this, is that the policy of government is a policy of penny wise foolish. You've removed subsidy on fuel. You've removed subsidy on exchange rate. Let me borrow, because that's their language now. They've been subsidizing the Naira. You've increased electricity tariff. And my question is this. You are rolling out incentives. Is that not penny wise foolish? You are giving more money to the governors, and you are asking Nigerians to go to these same governors to go and demand what are they using this money for. Would it have been better to retain this in and face our problems? And this takes me to this point that, look, the removal of subsidy on fuel is a question of putting the cart before the horse. If our refineries were working, we are borrowing today. The government is borrowing. Because World Bank still gave a recent press release saying that they gave the loan to alleviate the consequences of the various policies that the government has rolled out. So, wouldn't it have been better if this government is truly sincere to actually go to World Bank, which I really don't support, but let's agree to disagree, to go to World Bank removing subsidy? Will the impact still be the same? Would we